bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today with the Fire Flames Nike Alphafly 3. I've been doing a bunch of revisits this week, going back, digging into the archives. What are the most classic, iconic, beloved shoes? That was a double whammy, and that was close for comfort. But what are the most classic, iconic, beloved shoes in my collection? We went Aeroglide Glizzy. Now we're going Alphafly 3. Now, if you are looking for a classic and iconic shoe, welcome, because we'll be talking about one today. Also, you might want to check out the Supwell app. Not only do we have the latest and greatest when it comes to the new shoes, people put shoes like the Sky Tokyo, or the DV8 Nitro Elite 3, or the Fast R3 on the app if they don't work for them. And you can get them for well below MSRP because people list them and give them deals. But we also have shoes like this, or dead stock shoes. I've seen people post OG Prime X Strong type of shoes, Saucony Endorphin Speed 2s. I saw somebody post a New Balance Rebel 2 last week. So if you're looking for a new shoe, whether it's the latest and greatest like one of these Carbon County racers to release this year, or an older release like this, or a way older release like an OG Prime X Strong, make sure to get on the app. It's also the best community for hobby joggers out there. So if you want a community to hold you accountable, keep you racking and stacking mileage, get in with us and enjoy today's video. Man, another rainy day in Mint Hill. Guess we're going back to the treadmill this morning. And look at that. Absolute shenanigans. They're trying to get on the trampoline in the rain. Okay, she's got her. Yeah, this is another rainy week, and I know a lot of people, they like running in the rain. They like to be heroes. If that's you, congratulations. I'm happy for you, but not me. I don't like running in the rain. I'll do it. And I know there's a lot of smart Alex in the comments yesterday talking about, you said you run 20-mile long runs every week to prepare for the marathon. What if it rains? You know what? If it rains like this, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to run my marathon time goal. Maybe like this I might, but anything harder. If it's like yesterday, no chance. No chance. So I'd rather just be comfortable. Because isn't that the point of life? Comfort. Okay. We're committed. Committed to the gym. It's more of just a vibe, you know? I like the vibe of being chill. I don't know. I'm on team treadmill. I'm not on team outdoor suffering. But if that's you, if you're team outdoor suffering in the rain, honestly, I'm happy for you. I'm not envious, but I'm happy for you. Your ancestors aren't happy for you, though, because that's evolutionarily backwards. We should be seeking comfort of the indoors and shelter, not going outside and whatever that is. Anyway, getting dressed for the day here, or for the run. We got the John G 5-inchers. These are the pink ones. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. We have to bring out the pink, pink John G's on Wednesday. And then singlet. The one downside, this is the biggest downside, I think, to the treadmill, more than having to face a painted gray wall, more than just being indoors and the monotony of it all. It's the fact that you can't go shirtless. Now, if I were inside in my house, I could do shirtless treadmill, but at the gym, I just feel weird about that. You can't go shirtless at the gym. It's just inappropriate. So we have to go singlet, and then the singlet just gets completely soaked. So I'm going to do this singlet here. It's just a gray. I think it's a New Balance gray singlet. Not the lightest, not the heaviest, but should do the job. Ooh, these are some lightweight socks. Why not? Why not? We'll go sore. Sore socks, and I'll get an OG Hobby Jogger hat. Boom. So, workout today, I was initially going to do, where's the Book of Daniels? Is it over here? Yeah, so by the way, this is what I'm reading right now. John Adams by David McCullough. I just finished Pioneers by David McCullough. This is a really good book. It's not actually about the pioneers that you would think. It's not about people going to Oregon. It's about the settlement in the Ohio Territory. So it starts off Revolutionary War era, post-Revolutionary War era, and it follows this one family or a few families and all their descendants up to basically Civil War. It's pretty cool. So it shows how America slowly started going west, starting with Ohio. And now I'm back to the John Adams book. I actually had this one. I think I've made it halfway through before. But this is the book I was trying to look for. Book of Daniels. Daniels running formula. So the workout that I'm going to do today is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm not actually following the plan in here anymore. I'm just following my own plan. But it's this, kilos and quarters. So you can either do 5 by 1 kilometer or 6 by 1 kilometer with some quarters at the end of it. It's a great workout for turnover. I've been wanting to do it for a few weeks now. I don't want to do this outside because here's the thing. With a workout like this, if you try to do a workout like this in the storm, you're not going to be able to run it how it's intended to be ran. And you always have to think about the intended purpose of a workout, right? If it's a marathon pace workout, maybe I would run outside today. Also, if I didn't care about my confidence getting completely crushed and I were confident I have marathon pace. But with something like this, it's much more effective for me to just go on the treadmill, set it to a certain pace, and just vibe out at that pace, because it's possible that I won't even be able to hit these paces. If I'm trying to go 5 flat, or probably run these around 5:15 today. I don't want to go too hot, but even 5:15, that's going to be a struggle out here in the wet. It's slick, it's windy. There's a lot of turns and everything, and it's already hard to run that pace in this neighborhood because of how hilly it is. So we just eliminate all those variables by going on the treadmill, and then I can just focus on running the pace. And this is what I've talked about recently a lot, eliminating the variables during marathon training. That's a huge part of it. So instead of worrying about a bunch of stuff, I can just worry about running the dang workout. Now, at these 400s here, the treadmill actually doesn't go past 5 flat, and I don't really want to be running 4:30 pace on the treadmill anyway. So I might modify this, not do the 400s today, and maybe increase the volume of the kilometers, or maybe I'll just do 6 by 1 kilometer and call it a day. All right, with that, I'm going to get this stuff on and then we can hit it. It's what?
So it's really fun out there.
Oh, really fun? Oh, gosh. You're making me look bad.
No, well, it's not. We have rain jackets on and are playing underneath the carport.
Yeah. Dude, this is like a monsoon.
Marnie's chilling on the swing.
Shoes today. Trying to go Connor Mance type beat. Boom. Let's go. We're going on Fire Flames Alphafly. Alright, off we go. I've still got to download this app to get into the gym. I do officially have iOS 18.6 now, but I don't have the app. So we'll figure that out when we get there. You don't need an app to run outside, but you do need an aptitude for suffering. I actually kind of like when the weather's like this. It's a good vibe. I don't love it for running, but it's a good vibe. And the other thing is, man, I've put my time in running outside. I don't feel like I have anything to prove. With the running outside thing, running in the rain, Man, I've done some crazy runs in the rain, especially this year. Go watch the Salomon Aero Goat 3 review. Go watch the Aero Goat 3 gravel. You can go watch the Mizuno Neo Vista 2 first run review. You can go watch the Primax Strung 2. There's so many times where I've run in the rain. It's just not my preference. One of these doors is open. Took the kids to get bagels this morning. No, but I do think it's important for everybody to understand what are those things that you want to do. What are those things that you feel will give you an extra edge as a runner? Because for some people, you know, not everyone is running 100 miles a week. Not everyone is doing the 20-mile long runs every week. So if running in the rain helps you feel mentally prepared and like it builds mental toughness for you or just makes you feel better, then it's a good thing to do. For me, I don't need it, man. You got to choose your battles. I battle in other areas. I don't need to put myself out here through the rain. All right, enough talk about the rain. I'm gonna bump some tunes. I'm listening to this morning. I've got the Baby Money mixtape going. I don't know if I'm gonna listen to that for the entire workout, but it's a good vibe to get things going here.
Hey, yo, sheet is yours. Hey, yeah. I used to trap till they had to send a rave in. Now I just send it to the spot. I'm a made man. Rock this, I'ma watch this cave in. If you ain't touched 100,000, say yeah.
All right, Nike Alphafly 3. I told you we're going back to the high mileage bangers, the all mileage team, the classics, and this is one of them, man. This came out dang near 2 years ago at this point. It first started getting trickled out in December 2023. We are now in August 2025. So that's a long time for a shoe to be out in the market, especially with the pace of releases. I mean, since this is released, both the Metaspeed Sky Paris and Sky Tokyo have come out. So this is getting long in the tooth, but it's still an absolute banger, at least from my memory. The biggest difference between this shoe, let me brighten it up one touch here. Yeah, the biggest difference between this shoe and the newer race shoes to hit the market is the weight. It's all about that weight. So this is up at 220 grams. The Sky Tokyo and this new crop of shoes, those are all down at 170 grams. But what you're getting with this is a more robust feel. You get a super wide platform for a race shoe. The forefoot is wide. The heel is wide. That was the whole thing with this generation. They tried to make it wider, more accessible. You also get a really durable platform, weirdly, right? Now, this shoe only has about 50 miles on it, and I was actually looking at it this morning, and I was thinking, man, this has some more wear than I would expect, because I have another pair of these, and that one has about 200 miles on it, and I don't think the tearing is as bad on the back here, the ripping of the foam. So some noticeable foam wear here. Yeah, and on this side, which side is this? This is the right side. It's even worse. Look at this. We're completely tearing this up in the back here. But my other pair is actually holding up really well. You also get good rubber coverage. So I guess if we were to run in the rain with this, maybe it wouldn't be all that bad with the slipping and sliding. Upper's really nice. But yeah, the classic part about this is just the big stack of ZoomX foam in the AirPods. So tons of bounce off the forefoot. It's just such a fun shoe. And that Connor Mantz classic video of him running, any visual you can see of him running, you can see what this is designed to do. It wants you to land right up here, put power down on the forefoot. You could be a light touch runner, you could be a heavy runner. As long as you're putting power on the forefoot, this shoe will work for you. And that doesn't mean you can't be a heel striker either. You just have to drive some power through the front here, and it will bounce you along. That's the Connor Mantz type beat, right? Because you hear pop, 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 pop. And the the AirPod also has that classic popping sound. It's a very loud shoe. The other thing the foam. So with this version of ZoomX foam here, it's actually not super soft. A lot of the shoes now, I mean, look at me compressing this and squishing this. A lot of these shoes now have gone towards these really soft foams that compress down a ton. The Metaspeed shoes, those aren't too soft. I'm excited to see what the Ray, and interested to see what the Ray does. But with the Edge and the Sky, not too soft. But the FF Leap is definitely softer than this. And then if we look at Adios Pro 4 with the Light Strike Pro, or Saucony Endorphin Elite 2 with that Incrediron, way, 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 way softer than this guy here. So that's going to be the biggest difference between the Alphafly, or I guess two differences, right? The weight of this and then the softness of the foam. But because it is slightly heavier, it's more built up. It's not as unstable as some of these new shoes. It's not as aggressive. And it also feels, weirdly, it's weird to say this, but it feels more normal than some of these other shoes, just because the foam isn't compressing all the way down. Now, the AirPod is still the unique quality. No other brand has been able to match that. So that's what I get excited about. Whenever I get to lace up a pair of Alphaflys, it's, man, we get to have that fun bouncing ride in the forefoot. So with that, I was going to say let's go inside, but I actually need to finish setting up my pass here. So we can do that, and then we can go inside. Boom. Bro, this is crazy. Skip tutorial. Wow, look at that. Tap to unlock nearest door. Let's see how that works. Let's do it. Man, I feel like Alphafly treadmill combination, that's like cheating. That's got to be like cheating, right? It just makes it so much easier to run. That's what, a 15-second per mile benefit, Alphafly plus treadmill. All right, let's check this out. Wow, that worked. Would you look at that? All right, first one's in the gym again. Yeah, I really wish I could just slide one of the treadmills over to the window right there, but it honestly wasn't that bad yesterday. I did 14 miles. The key was, I think, just being on this treadmill here closest to the window. I got to look out and see the window. I also didn't realize that the TV remote was right there, so I could have changed it. That's a nice touch. Each one of the treadmills has its own TV remote. Shout out to Matt from Core Fit putting in work. And then the cubbies, of course, man. The cubbies, that's a really nice touch. Look at that. This is definitely copyright music playing, and it's also just strange music, strange pop music. But yeah, I'm going to do this workout by feel. So 2 miles, warm up. And then I've had some high mileage days back to back to back. So I'll just see how good I'm feeling in terms of these reps here. This is really a bonus workout. I don't need it. So if I'm not feeling fantastic, I'll do these at threshold. If I'm feeling fantastic, I'll do them faster than threshold. If I'm feeling a lot less than fantastic, I don't know, I'll just cut at 4 reps or something. So I'm going to give myself an easy out. 4 kilometers at threshold is the lowest baseline for this workout. If I could do more faster, that's great. That's bonus. But if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. All right, let's do this thing. Oh, baby. That was another monster session right there. I ended up going, and you can see, this is just absolute detritus right here. That's disgusting. I feel like I was just swimming. Probably wetter than I would have been outside. But yeah, I ended up going 8Ks to recalibrate this watch. Oh, it actually got the mileage almost exactly. It said 8.1 today. Yesterday, it was way off, but today, we're good. We went exactly 8. That was beast. I'm going to cool down, too. But I just want to save this part of the workout. Yeah, we want 8 kilometers. So 8 by a K. RIP Kobe. I actually didn't feel too bad on that. I felt really good. I was just moving. And I ended up hitting most of those kilometers in about 3:15 probably, or average about 3 or 5:15 pace. And then by the end, I was just maxing out the pace. The treadmill stops at 5 flat, so I was just maxing them out at 5 flat. And look at that. That's a beautiful graph right there. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I was actually thinking about doing 10, adding a few more, but my thought process was, am I going to get more benefit from trying to push for 10 right now, or will I get more benefit from being fresher for my long run Sunday and being able to do some marathon pace, hopefully? And I think I'll get more benefit from that. So I'm going to cool it down. That was really solid, man. I felt good on those. Alphaflies were, of course, singing. This is disgusting. I really wish I could take this off. I should have brought a backup shirt. New Balance singlets. I don't know if I can Supwell certify these, but it's also just, I mean, what can you do when it's this wet? All right. I'm going to cool down 4 more miles. We can get 12 on the morning. Call it a day. All right, man. We are done. That is 12 miles on the morning. That was 8 for the workout, 4 for the cool down. And I really hope more people sign up for this gym, because both today and yesterday, I've been the only person here. So I could have been shirtless. But the thing is, if nobody signs up, it's going to close down. So if you live in the Matthews Min Hill area, please sign up for Core Fit so that my gym does not shut down for a second time. Because when it was the other gym here, I would rarely be the only person, unless I was here at 4:35 a.m. And even then, they had the night shift folks coming in. So that was the big mistake. I think they should have just transferred over the membership. If it were me, I would have done it seamlessly. Transferred everybody's membership over and then done the renovations and stuff. Maybe try to buy all the old equipment, because this is not good. It's not good. I've been here for a good 4 hours now, today, yesterday, and nobody, literally nobody. All right, so we got 4 on the cool down. And, dude, that felt good this morning, man. I can feel this is the thing. You got to recalibrate this puppy. I can feel that fitness building. I was telling you yesterday, I'm in 230 shape right now. Those Ks felt so good, man. I was running them right around, and I don't even know, because the pace, the treadmill plus the shoes, it's all weird running them on the treadmill versus the roads, but I was running strong, and I wasn't fatiguing. So that's 24 minutes. That's why I call it the RIP Kobe workout, because it's 8 kilometers, and then you multiply that by 3 minutes for each kilometer, roughly 3 minutes, you get 24 minutes of hard running. That's a really solid workout, man. We're back to some strange music here. Yeah, mileage train is still rolling. That was, what was that yesterday? 66. Somebody commented on my Strava. They said 66 miles in 3 days. So now we're at 78 in 4 days, and I'll get some more miles this afternoon. And then shoes, man, it was interesting. This is the first time with the Alphafly where I felt like the pod is too far back, because at these paces, when I'm going sub 530 pace, so 520 per mile, 515 per mile, and I was maxing out the treadmill in the last few reps, so getting down to 5 flat per mile, I'm a 4-foot striker at those paces. I don't land on the back at all. I'm just landing up here, and it felt weirdly far back. It felt like it was in the midfoot, and maybe because I was just running the fast R3, but with the fast R3, dude, that thing just wants you to land here. So one of the ideas I was thinking is, what if Nike made 2 Alphaflies? What if they made this Alphafly more of the comfortable version and maybe even kept it. What radio station is this? This is now YG. Yeah, this is YG, and before it was some rock song. So maybe it's something like Kiss 108. Anyone from the Boston area remember Kiss 108? Just today's hits. Anyway, Fast R3 you can really grip and rip up here, but then they have the DV8 Nitro Elite 3, which is the more accessible version. This feels like the more accessible version. I'm curious how this would feel if they made it even lighter, even more aggressive, move this pod up half an inch right here, make this more of the 4-foot striker or just aggressive shoe again, because with the pod where it is now, it's very comfortable and it's a great marathon shoe. But what if they made the Alphafly more of that half marathon 10K shoe? And I know they have the Streak Fly for super short distances, but that would be a cool experiment. I could see you have the Alphafly, I don't even know what you call it, Alphafly high, Alphafly low, or Alphafly forward, Alphafly backwards, something where you just have a different setup here. That could be really cool. All right, 12 miles in the morning. I got to get home, do some work. Also got to wipe down that treadmill. Yeah, dude, now this is some Tom Petty type beat. This is not Tom Petty. I like Tom Petty more than this, but this is definitely eclectic. Very eclectic radio station here. Let's get out of here. This is what I was thinking about, though. How do you do marketing for a local gym? And this gym, I know they're all about the digital everything. You don't have to talk to anybody. You just sign up without talking to somebody. You just sign up on the app and get the key card right there. But, bro, we got to get some folks inside the gym. Maybe we need people. You know what I mean? People to help do the marketing. People to help people sign up when they come through here. Because right now, the prospects are not looking too good for Core Fit. Maybe I'll just do some free marketing for him so people can actually get in this gym and then it won't shut down on me. Gosh dang. Also, soundtrack for today.
Posted up for weeks and sweets counting this cheese.
Yes, that was, I just paused it. Currency for the cool down. I've been just banging Currency 730. And then for the workout, I switched to Rio. I've still been just jamming that Rio album. He has a new one coming out, but that first album he dropped this year, so good, man, so good. So that's one of my go-tos on the treadmill. Top 5 album of the year for me, that Rio album. I also was listening to some Yachty for the warm-up. Yachty's underrated as a rapper. He has some good flows and some good bars here and there, but he doesn't have an album. The thing with the treadmill is I like just putting on one album and letting it play for the workout, and I know the Rio album is just gonna hit every time, so that's what we did. Alright, I'm gonna see you at home so Charlie doesn't yell at me for filming and driving.
Never lied in my raps, I just waited. Y'all saw me in that Ferrari before you heard me say it. That's how I played. Ball out, made to still stash paper. Let's keep it playing. Preparing for rainy days, umbrellas in the rain. This industry is a maze. Independent is the only way. From the veranda.
I was thinking for this afternoon, it might be nice to get some miles in the Invincible. Remember that shoe? The Invincible 3 came out how long ago? 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But yeah, we have the Vomero Plus coming soon, which is the replacement for the Invincible. So it could be fun to get some farewell mileage in the Invincible, right? And then when we get the Vomero Plus, we'll have something to compare it against. It's nice out here now, man. This is perfect. August is just beautiful. This is the thing with the Piedmont. It'll break your heart, man, because this really is a lovely place to live. I mean, look at this. We got nice real estate for not too expensive. You got good family-oriented vibe, but then July comes here in the Piedmont, and it looks all nice now because it's August, but July comes, and it will crush your soul. 98 degrees for 30 days straight. It's just brutal. But now you have this. I mean, what could be better? Refuel time. Oh man, I forgot about these. I forgot that we had these. Look at this. Charles went ham last night. She made gnocchi for dinner, and then at the same dang time, she made blueberry muffins. So boom. This is what I'm going to do for the quick refuel. One of these, and then I think I'm going to get the just simple, the vegan chicken patties. I'll make some chicken sandwiches. Just keep it simple today. And yeah, the fueling schedule that I've been on this week, which is just aggressive. I've probably been back up at 4,000 calories a day, but it's working. This is the only thing, not the only thing, but this is one of the things that's allowing me to run the crazy mileage I've been running, which is just 20 miles every day. I'm trying to hit 120 this week. And if I don't refuel like a madman, I don't hit it. One thing I was thinking about on the treadmill is I talk all about this high mileage stuff. I know the majority of people out there aren't running high mileage, or I mean, you might be running high mileage, but the majority of people out there aren't running 80 plus miles a week. It would be cool one day to coach and work with athletes who are. I would love to do that and to translate what I'm doing to other people, because it does trickle down to no matter what your level of fitness is, but just in terms of the workouts I'm doing, how I've unlocked the consistent high mileage, I would love to work with other people who are trying to hit similar goals. So if you're grinding on sub 245, sub 240, and you're trying to hit higher mileage, 80, 90 plus miles a week, let me know, because maybe I'll get a group going or something just so we can, lock in together and share. But I like just sharing for everybody. It's just sometimes I feel like I'm talking about you got to throw a bunch of calories at everything. And I know people are on different journeys, right? Maybe you're running 40 miles a week and your refuel is different. So I can only speak from my perspective, especially when it comes to the nutrition. I have a high mileage nutrition specialty right now. But all the other stuff, man, consistent workouts, consistent mileage, that applies to everybody. I also don't think these two sandwiches are going to be enough. So I'll see if there's any. Charles made smoothies. I don't know if she left me any. I don't think so. Oh, look at that. Some rice and beans. So I was talking about boys microwaving rice yesterday. Honestly, I might need to microwave this. Or you know what? I might just eat it cold. All right, cold coconut rice and beans. One bite. Everybody knows the rules. Man, that does not look appetizing. That'll be better warm. Definitely better warm. Break from the meat and grind, so finishing up my lunch here. We got the 2 buffalo chicken patties. We got the rice in the cast iron. I did want to show you this, though. Look at this. Not the YouTube comments. We don't need to look at those. This. I have never gotten a sleep score this high. I got a 96 sleep score last night. That's crazy. 7 hours and 45 minutes. It says my body battery is at 100. That's wild. That's wild. So we came out here and got 2 good workouts. And I'm telling you, man, when you eat like this, get the calories in, and you do the big sleep, the big calories in the big sleep, you can run the big mileage. And I also haven't been particularly stressed this week. I've been way more relaxed. I don't have any crazy work projects going on. My associate on my team she's finally back in the office today, so that's going to lighten the workload. I was stressed last week and the week before, just grinding in the heat. The AC broke and everything, so we're back at it. And this is the thing I was talking about with the body IQ. You got to know when you can ramp the volume up, ramp the intensity up, and when it's time to take it down. And if we have other stuff going on in our lives, that's when we take the volume and the intensity down. Because if you're trying to run hard in the heat, increase your mileage, you're stressed, that's the recipe for injuries to happen. But if we're smart about it and we balance out the life stress with the running stress, then we'll be in a good spot. If I'm out here getting 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep, I'm not going to be able to run a 120 mile week. But with everything this week, it's just been the perfect setup. Also with the weather being nicer. I mean, this is the perfect setup for some higher mileage, baby. And it looks like this afternoon is clear too. So I'll be able to get a run outside in the afternoon. It's funny how the rhythm of the days work. This week has been pouring in the morning and then clear in the afternoon. Every day so far. Also coffee for today. I'm going with the Boom, the Portrait coffee, the Rwanda. Shout out to Portrait putting in work. These guys are out of Atlanta. This is the natural process Rwandan. They say the watermelon and dried kiwi notes. This is just a solid coffee. It's not as funky or fruity as the what's the other brand? How do I forget? Oh, Black and White. I threw out my last bag of Black and White yesterday, so I'm gonna have to get some more. But yeah, this is not a super funky, chunky monkey. This is just a nice mellow sipper. It's perfect for a day like today. But I think after this, I'm gonna go back and reorder some funky, either Black and White or Hatchet. I also know, man, come September, Mace is going to be back in school. Reevesy's going to school for the first time. I'm going to be back on the drop-off in the morning on Wednesday and Friday. So it's just going to be different. It's going to be, there's seasons for everything. Right now, it really seems that August, this is my time to push with the mileage and everything. So when it's time to push, we push, baby. Man, if I'm the core fit ownership, you know what I'm doing? I'm stuffing new gym now open postcards in every single dang mailbox in this neighborhood. That's hundreds of houses. That's step one. Step two, you go out to 51, the main street right here, new gym now open. Just get those, you know those lawn signs that people put up for the politicians? Just get those and bang, all down 51. I don't even think you need a permit. And if you do, guess what? The police are going to have to pull them up because we're not getting any permits. And then three, you can do email marketing. Just get the emails from the old gym. The old gym, they actually told me that we would be getting an email that the new gym was open. I didn't get any email. So get the email list from the old gym, blast it out, introduce yourself. Man, I might have to text my guy Matt from Corefit because I really don't want this gym to fail. But it's making me nervous. It's making me nervous. That's just some free marketing game right there. What do I know? I'm just a hobby jogger. Just the big boy Refuel right there. I thought I just chipped the plate. I think, was that plate already chipped? I think that plate was already chipped. That's the big boy Refuel. We have 2 bagel sandwiches with the rice and beans. That's good carbs. We also need something green. Here we go. Some baby spinach. Why not? Just get some greens in here. I got a lot of vegetables at dinner. We had a bunch of Brussels sprouts last night with dinner. So lunch, I usually just try to get as many calories as possible. But boom, there we go. Probably put some honey mustard, homemade honey mustard on top. Plus we have the coffee. Plus I'll do some electrolytes. And then we'll get back outside and crank it up for some more mileage this afternoon. Let's go. One more thing. I'm mixing up the homemade honey mustard here. Looks like we need to dab more honey. But I forgot to mention, these are the Family Dough bagels from down the street. Fire. Best bagels in Charlotte. They're closed Tuesday. I tried to get them yesterday and missed out, but went and got them this morning. Man, I can feel I'm super hungry. I'm borderline underfueled right now. But I have a bunch of meetings. Hopefully I can eat during some of these meetings. I don't love eating during meetings, but if it's a big call where I'm not talking, I can just scoot off to the side there. All right, boom. There we go. It's a beautiful lunch. Oh gosh, that's heavy. Run number 2. Run number 2. Run number 2. That is a new shoe. Should we run in it tomorrow? Should we run in that tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know. I might stop doing new shoe reviews, just running old shoes. Oh man, this weather is perfect, man. I legit feel cold stepping outside here. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, you might have noticed I have the Alphaflys here. I was going to run in the Invincibles, but my wife, Charlie, was making fun of me. She said, "Did you run on the treadmill in Alphaflys?" Legit making fun of me. I said, "What am I supposed to run on the treadmill?" And she said, "I don't know, a boring brook shoe." It's literally what she said. And I acknowledged it earlier too. I did feel like it was kind of cheating, running on the treadmill in Alphaflys. But I was doing a workout, and to be fair, I was maxing out the speed of the treadmill. So it's not like I was taking it easy running on this treadmill with the Alphaflys. But anyway, I'm back out here in the Alphaflys, not the Invincible 3s, because I need to prove her wrong. I need to prove to my wife that I'm not soft. So that's why we're out here. No, that's not why. That's not why I'm out here. I decided to lace these up again for the afternoon run because I feel like I'm not done. I have some more gas in the tank today. This is Wednesday. This is my big workout day. I know I'm not going to do another workout until Sunday, so I'm going to give it a go to do a few up-tempo miles here. Nothing too crazy, but just some more intensity on the day because I've gotten a lot of volume this week. Not too much up-tempo intensity. Plus, we did our treadmill workout earlier, so the impact of that was lower. So I'll see if I can give it a go here to get some additional intense mileage. Let's do it. Now that's what the heck I'm talking about right there. That's that Connor Mance type beat. A lot of people want to put their marathon PR in their bio. Somebody told me I should talk about my PRs to give myself credibility. My PR is disgusting me. I look at my PR and I say, that's sickening. It's not where I want to be. I don't give a dang about my PR. I'm always talking about PRs. Mile 1, 7:55 by the way. Doing some strides to warm up into it. All warmed up here, almost at mile 2. Goal, 3 miles worth of sauce. That's it, 3 miles. 3 miles worth of sauce. All right, here you go. $5:39, mile 1. Don't you ever mention their name and my name in the same sentence again. I'm in a different league. Don't you think about it. Eating. Mile 2, 5:36. Good work, baby, good work. lot of these guys trying to run these little 5K pace workouts. That's cute. That's cute. Last push. Boom. We call that the extra sauce right there. I went something like 537, 536, 529. I actually think that last one was 526. Goal was marathon pace, but I was feeling good, so pushed it down to threshold at the end. Also, we had a downhill assist. Beast mode, man. Talking about Connor Mance type beat. That's a Connor Mance type beat. I really feel, and don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way. This is just what I have to tell myself when I'm in that mode. I really feel Connor Mance is the only man training harder than me. That's what I feel. Prove me wrong. Now the trick is going to be recovery, because I just buried myself in intensity. I love it though. We got to do different stuff to get different adaptations. And I don't do double workout days very often, so it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. I am having a jolly old time running in these old shoes. These old and outdated shoes this week. You know what's so funny? Tongue in cheek on the Instagram yesterday, I called the Balos an old and outdated shoe. I said it in dog years or in shoe years, it's 87 years old. And somebody commented that it's such an American thing to do, to call it an old and outdated shoe. Such a European thing to do, to just be looking at reasons to be mad at Americans. I don't get it. But we got 8 miles, average about 7 flat pace. 3 miles tempo right there. And you got to remember, tempo is not an actual pace range. Different coaches use it to mean different things. I run my tempos in marathon training at marathon pace, but you could also do a threshold pace tempo. That was just a good old sauce. That was sauce pace. I don't know what pace that was. I started off with the plan of marathon pace, but all 3 of those miles were faster. So, man, feeling good. And these Alphaflys are just a special shoe. Every time that I run in these and I do a workout, I just had a moment of panic that sound was the foam breaking. Also, PSA, don't do the shoe kickoff trick like this. Don't do it with these because you will break the back. I mentioned this last time I ran the Alphaflys, and somebody commented on the app that they did it anyway, and they ended up breaking their shoe, so don't do that. But anytime I run the Alphaflys, man, especially for a day like this, I'm just reminded of how special this shoe is, and it is not the fastest shoe out there. It still is very fast, and it's hard to tell this, Sky Tokyo, Fast R3. I really think any given day, Adios Pro 4, this is the top class of shoes. Any given day, I can run the same workout in any of those shoes. And I know the Fast R3 has been lab tested to be the fastest, et cetera, but factors like sleep, nutrition, the weather, how fresh we are, those outweigh any of the 1 or 2% you might get from a shoe. But the special quality of this is just this massive stack of cushion paired with the air unit. I really think you could switch out this foam here, put FF Leap, put FF Turbo Plus. I'm not sure it would make all that much of a difference here. It really is the pod with this aggressive geometry. That's what gives it the special Alphafly feel. Just total banger. What's in your mouth?
Nothing. We're making a snail collection.
A snail collection?
Yeah.
What's up, Brandon? High five. All right, I'll be done in a few, okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye. Boom. Man, I was feeling like this morning's workout was good. I hit some fast kilometers. I have no idea how fast they actually were because I think the treadmill calibration is slightly off, and it's always weird clicking it off with the watch. Also, so the treadmill was telling me I was going, let's call it 5:13 pace, right? And I was manually looking at the kilometer. A kilometer is 0.62 miles, so I was manually calculating that. And I know there's ways you could program it and all that, but the thing is, if you pause the treadmill, then you only have 30 seconds to get back on. Also with the program in it, even with the watch, I don't do that because then it beeps at me, and then I feel like the technology is in control. I want to be in control, but I was manually calculating 0.62 miles, right? If we start at 1.6 miles on this one, we're going to need to go to 2.2 miles, or 2.22 miles on the next one, right? So I was doing all that, clicking off the watch, and for some reason, I thought I was hitting the kilometers exactly, and then my watch would tell me that was a 3-minute and 17-second rep. Versus the treadmill, if I'm running a 5:10 pace kilometer, that should convert to shorter. So something was off. Something, I don't know if it's the treadmill or I was slow with the watch. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It was just one of those things, hobby jogger math. My brain was breaking, but when it comes to the workouts like that, I don't stress too much about the pace, whether I'm running a 5:17 per mile kilometer or a 5:07, it doesn't matter all that much because you got to think about the goal of the workout. And this is what I always hammer, right? The goal of that particular workout that I did this morning, we could throw it up to 8 kilometers, so 8 by 1K with 2 minutes jogging in between. The goal is to get in some intensity faster than marathon pace. And when I do a workout like that, it doesn't quite matter if it's at threshold, if it's at VO2 max, or if it's somewhere in between for that workout, because I'm not working on a specific fitness factor. It's more of a turnover workout. I want to feel faster. And that's also why I ran it on the treadmill versus out here, because I know that I would have a better chance of feeling fast, popping the legs off the ground, getting those mechanics working, opening up the stride. I'll have a better chance at doing that in a flat, controlled environment than I will when it's twisty and turny and rainy. And also, that lubricated the body, that got me warmed up for this afternoon. We did a freestyle. This is my first ever double workout. I don't think I've ever, maybe I've done one before. I can't remember it though. So I'll just say this is my first ever double workout where I did intensity in the morning and intensity in the afternoon. And I've gotten all the way to a 2:39 marathon without doing it. And I've done hundreds of double days where I do a workout in the morning or just regular run in the morning, aerobic run, and then a recovery or aerobic run in the afternoon. Hundreds of times. Probably somewhere between 200 and 300 times. I don't know. You could look on my Strava. You could calculate it, right? So hundreds of times where I've done double run days, but never a workout like this. Because I haven't felt that it's necessary. I still don't feel that it's necessary. I know people do double threshold and all that, but some days I just want to try something new. And that's really what it was. I wasn't planning to do this. I just felt insulted, disrespected, and denigrated by my wife, who called me soft for running on the treadmill with the Alphafly. So I had to prove her wrong by coming out here and doing a mini tempo in the Alphaflies on the roads. Who you calling soft, Charlie? No, so that's a really solid day of running, man. 20 miles, another 20-mile day. That's my 4th 20-mile day in a row. And yeah, I'm not even feeling like, I know, I can see in the metrics, in my feel, in my confidence, in the way my body is looking right now, I can see that I've turned the corner of the sub 230 fitness. I'm there now. I'm there. I just have to execute. And it's not easy. It's hard. It's not easy to come out here and we can throw up the workout in the afternoon. It's not easy to do this, but I've now built up the capacity to start hammering these workouts and executing what I need to. So 12 in the morning, 8 in the afternoon. I still think this is the best high mileage race shoe out there. And there are shoes that are faster. There are shoes that are newer. There are shoes that look cooler, maybe. There's shoes that are lighter. There's shoes that do every sort of thing. There's shoes that are more comfortable, like the SCLE V5, right? The Faster R3 would be the faster one. The Sky Tokyo would be the new hot kid on the block. That's maybe people are going for now versus last summer they would be getting the Alphafly because this was newer. But if you want to put a lot of training miles on a shoe, a race shoe, this still feels like the one, especially if you're not planning on racing in it. So say you're gonna race in the Fast R3 or you're gonna race in the Endorphin Elite 2 or some other shoe. This really does feel like the one to put a lot of training miles on, especially if you can get a pair on the Supwell app for discounted or somewhere else discounted. I know the Nike outlets have them discounted, but the cushion, the protection, the ease of running, every time I run in this shoe, I'm just reminded of that extra 5% of running assistance, not necessarily speed assistance, right? With the Fast R3, I can really feel once I start going sub 540, I can feel that turbo boost. This doesn't have the turbo boost in the same way. This is more of that cushioned pop. And that was the difference today in this. 20 miles in it today, very similar to the run I did the other day in the Fast R3, except that was one continuous run, 21 miles. And I felt when I was dialing up marathon pace at the end of that run in the Fast R3, I felt that the forefoot was potentially getting flat. I couldn't tell if it was me or the shoe or something, but with this, there's no flatness at all. I have never experienced a flat feeling in the Alphafly. These AirPods really do stand up well to the continuous pounding, to the usage. And you can even see the forefoot, although the rear here has started to take a beating. And it's weird that this pair is getting so chewed up, because I'll go inside and look later, but I really don't remember my first pair getting this demolished. I mean, these are actually really getting demolished in the back. The foam's coming off and everything. I also, maybe it's just the paint that's taking a beating worse back here, but yeah, this is getting chewed pretty good in the back. But my point is the front, it looks great. The front is still in great shape here, and the pods are not compressing down. There's some cosmetic wear. This is mostly wear of the paint, but more importantly, the foam still really feels good. We're at now, oh gosh, it's getting dark over here. I actually think there's gonna be another thunderstorm rolling into town tonight. But yeah, it still feels really good, and this shoe holds its form, it holds its shape. It's, man, I don't want to say it's the perfect marathon shoe, but it feels like the perfect high mileage training shoe for intensity. So with the 2 workouts today, felt awesome for both of those. I actually did a double in the New Balance SC Elite V5 a few weeks ago. That shoe is also great. This one, it feels more substantial, it feels wider. That does have a more relaxed heel in the back. This one cuts off right here, so it really wants you to land midfoot. And what I was noticing today, first time I've ever felt like this in a shoe, I almost wanted the landing zone of the pods to be farther up. I said this after the first workout, but I was feeling like the pods here were directly under my midfoot, and when I was running faster, I wanted them to be slightly farther up to pop off the front. But I'm just splitting hairs here because this is just a marvelous shoe. So it still ranks up there. It's hard to say, is this better than this? Is this better than that? But what you are getting in this, where it over indexes versus those other shoes, is the cushion, the long mile capability, still the best marathon shoe for the long run. Much better than the Fast R3 or the Tokyo. I mean, the Tokyo felt like maybe that was beating up my feet by the end of that run, especially with the upper. No upper weirdness on this, just really fantastic upper. Great stretchy material here, and it does have those Supwell certified laces. Also, the stability, really good, weirdly good on this for an aggressive race shoe, and it still is aggressive. And I think the one thing to keep in mind is, for me, my relaxed paces, even when I'm cooling down here, you can look at the second run here, my cool down relaxed paces are closer to 8:30 or 8 flat per mile. So that's the slowest I'm really going to test a shoe like this. I can't tell you how it feels at 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes per mile. But with a shoe like this, typically those benefits start fading out with those slower paces. Once you start getting into 10-minute plus, you're not going to get the same benefit of this, especially with the pods being closer to the front. You got to put down some power. But hey, if you're a bigger runner and you're able to generate the force to get the bounce, I mean, this is not going to bottom out. Lots of good bounce. So this is one of those shoes that can work well for a lot of people. It just depends what do you want to use it for. And that's the other thing about the Alphafly. It's a classic. It's like Coca-Cola. Everyone uses this shoe, or Gatorade, right? I was trying to think of something that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. It's like the water running shoes. It really is, man, because you go to any race and you'll see this. And I know people get clowned for wearing the Alphaflys around town, but it's just such a good shoe that anybody really can use it and have a good time. People jog in these. You could jog in these and have a good time. I love this as a high mileage training tool. So I've been having a fun time this week doing some of these revisits, just bangers only. I went Aeroglide Monday, Glizzy Max Tuesday, Alphafly Wednesday. Probably have to get back to the new shoe grind, but it's been nice to take a beat, and I really wanted to refocus on my training, because sometimes with the new shoes, and yes, this is a shoe review channel, right? It's shoe tube, but I also need to focus on my training sometimes. I don't need to, I guess. I'm not a professional athlete, but I want to. I wanted to focus on my training. I've got a really solid week of training. This might be my best week of training this entire year. This is definitely the best I've felt. The weather has cleared up. It's about 80 right now. I put in a lot of work, and all those pieces are coming together. And the long grinder tempos at marathon pace, those are just my favorite thing to do, but I haven't done them all year because I haven't been able to. Yeah, I could have done a tempo at a 6 flat pace, but why would I do that? That's what I was doing last year, right? So we have to make sacrifices in certain areas. I didn't do my favorite type of workout for 9 months because I knew I needed to get that pace down, training to train. So finally, I'm in the position now where I can do what I like to do because I've put in the last 10 months of work. I was trying to think if there was anything else I needed to say out here. Yeah, people are going to ask about all the comparisons. I just wanted to make sure I got them all down with the newer shoes. I already told you Fast R3. That one is more aggressive. That's probably faster than this. I also think the Alphafly is this is a more accessible shoe than the Fast R3. So if you're on the line, will the Fast R3 work for me? Will it not? Am I fast enough for that? Is it going to be too aggressive later in the race? Get the Alphafly over the Fast R3. And I'm not talking about other shoes. There might be a better shoe than either of those, but if you're comparing those two, versus the SC Elite V5, this is definitely faster than the SC Elite V5, but both are cushioned, comfortable shoes that you could use for a lot of training miles. The SC Elite V5, that's even more accessible than this. So if I were looking at Fast R3, this SC Elite V5, SC Elite V5 is the best one for longer time on feet, the least aggressive. This would be in between SC Elite V5 and Fast R3, then Fast R3 would be all the way the fastest. Sky Tokyo, that's a really interesting one. That's just the shiny new object, right? So maybe that's the head-to-head I need to do, because I wanted to do this kilometer repeat workout for a while now. I've been talking about it for a few weeks. I actually wanted to throw some fast 400s at the end, and it's really getting dark out here, huh? Yeah, I've been wanting to do this workout for a few weeks now. Finally did it. I think the next workout I'll need to do is a big threshold session. So down at 5:30, maybe a 4 by 2 miles, something like that. I actually want to get some more marathon pace work, but the next non-marathon pace work that I'll do, probably a 4 by 2 miles or something similar. Maybe I could do a head-to-head Alphafly versus Sky Tokyo. I also need to do a Sky versus Edge Tokyo. So lots of good carbon released recently. This is still up there though. I don't think anything's gonna knock it off the top 5 until Nike releases the Alphafly 4. And man, that's a tall task. How do you replace this? This is just such an awesome shoe. I never ran in the 2. I did do one workout in the 1 just to test it. But this is iconic, man. Classic, iconic, legendary. And yeah, I was joking about the Balos being old and outdated. This is, in shoe years, this is on the older side now, but it can still hang for sure. And the benefit of the cushion and comfort for me outweighs any of the downside of it having a higher weight. And the weight of it isn't even that much higher. It's the same weight as the SC Elite V5, so it doesn't feel like an actively heavier shoe. All right, I'm getting played out by the rain here. Got to make sure we refuel. That was a really solid day of training, man. I've just focused this week, tuned out the noise, just gone with the vibes, and I've had my best week of training. So there you go. You just got to follow the vibes. That's the message for today. Follow the vibes, and the pieces will fall into place if you've been putting in the work. Mileage, vibes, and pace. That's the program, baby. All right. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Talk about Max Cushion Gang. Double workout day. Like I'm Yaku in the Brise. Ran hard twice like I'm Yaku in the Brise. Yaku in the Brise. Yaku. Yeah, one more thing. Look at this. This is my first pair, 200 miles. You can tell it has some wear back there. It just doesn't look as bad as the other ones. I think it's because these are painted. So a lot of this, the visible damage here is the paint coming off versus the prototype pair is not painted. So that's the difference here. That's why these look like they're in better shape. So still should hold up pretty well right here. Yeah, all this white stuff coming off, if you can see that, that's just the paint. So that's good to know. It looks bad, but it's also not affecting the ride whatsoever. So it's good to know. You will see some of that paint damage depending on which colorway you get.